here for Maharaj for their attention, whatever time we had. Maharaj, a short visit, Srila Mayapur, became Srila Madhav after 15 years. So we are so fortunate to hear from His Devotee Swami Maharaj. I personally remember with the Guru Maharaj, they have so much deep loving interaction. It was early 2005. I was traveling with Guru Maharaj, his other Professor Guru Maharaj, and his other Swami Maharaj, Guru Maharaj also came there to celebrate Janmashtami. And after Janmashtami, it was Sri Prabhupada appearance day, and that night, I Guru Maharaj had flight to come to Mumbai, back to Mumbai. So he was so tired that most of the day he was asleep, and Prabhupada appearance day also really tired, morning. So he's so loving, exchange both of them they had. So Guru Maharaj asked me, I will give you massage, I will take it to rest, and wake me up after 2 hours I have a flight. So then I get massage and do one fall asleep, so I left. So after that we came back to wake him up, I saw his other Swami Maharaj forwarded Govardhan waiting with garland. So then everybody was, nobody scared to go inside to wake him up for the flight. But he was too many personalities, so I thought of that people. So he's really tired and sleeping. So always I give him massage, put him sleep, never wake him up. So I have started giving him massage and wake him up. So both of them loving exchange, they talking, we all surround them. And we must go close to the car, to enter the car, and then again come back to give her more and again talking, and going back again. It's happened half an hour, back and forth. This flight. But I can see he can carry this flight or whatever. Such a deep loving exchange they have each other. Thank you, Maharaj.
So I will begin by singing the Mangalacharana prayers and leading a short kirtan, and then I will speak about Srila Prabhupada's beloved disciple, my dear God brother, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tirtha Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupa Sagrata Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Sam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhantamusta Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Itina Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Ashtatya Shatari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Prajakacharya Stotra Siddhasi Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Prajakacharya Stotra Siddhasi Srimad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So the first time I met His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj was in the bathroom at the Mahakumbha Mela in January of 1977 in Allahabad. And Maharaj asked me who I was, and I introduced myself to him, and he introduced himself to me. I could immediately see he was a very, polite, cultured, devotional person. And soon after that, he came with Srila Prabhupada to Bombay, to Juhu, and I also got to associate with him there. Many years later, after Prabhupada left, he came to America, and he did an initiation in San Diego. I was with him, and he initiated a disciple who lived in Santa Barbara, still lives in Santa Barbara. So after the ceremony, one of the devotees said to him that now you have a disciple in Santa Barbara, so you'll have to visit Santa Barbara more often. And His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj smiled and he said, I will not go to Santa Barbara to visit my disciple. I will go to Santa Barbara to see Giriraj Maharaj. And the way he said my name, with so much love and affection, really struck me, and it has stayed with me until today. And I've mentioned this to some other devotees, and they also recall that the way His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj said their name, he was very full of love and affection, and they remember how he would speak their name. So now I'll read something. So I call this Remembering Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj and Serving Him in Separation. One of Sripad Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj's most prominent qualities was his deep love for Srila Prabhupada. Very soon after Maharaj met Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada included him in his personal staff and made him his secretary for Bengali and Hindi correspondence. Soon thereafter, Srila Prabhupada gave him first and second initiations and then sannyas. And Maharaj personally served Srila Prabhupada throughout Prabhupada's last days. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami was also devoted to ISKCON. He always considered ISKCON to be a unique creation of Srila Prabhupada's and always wanted to serve ISKCON. Both the devotees in ISKCON and ISKCON as an entity, a manifestation of Srila Prabhupada. He was really in the mood of service to the devotees, especially the devotees of ISKCON and to ISKCON itself. Maharaj was a very pure-hearted, loving person. His love for Srila Prabhupada was seen in his love for the devotees and for people in general whom he wanted to bring to Srila Prabhupada, and how he encouraged devotees to increase their engagement, take on more responsibility, and become more loving, humble servants. Maharaj once explained to a devotee in Mauritius, the more responsibility one accepts, the bigger servant of the devotees one becomes. This reminded me of something Srila Prabhupada once said. A disciple came into Prabhupada's room in Mayapur one day and began to complain about the management. Srila Prabhupada said, "If you think you can do better, why don't you?" Somehow, the disciple came out and announced that Srila Prabhupada had made him the temple commander, and he began to boss around the other devotees. Some devotees complained to Srila Prabhupada that the devotee had said that Prabhupada had made him the temple commander, and now he was barking orders at everyone. So Prabhupada called for the devotee and instructed him, first you become the servant of everyone, then you become the temple commander. Thus Srila Prabhupada expressed the same idea as Bhakti Charu Swami, that a bigger position means becoming a bigger servant. Bhakti Charu Swami and Parampara had the same understanding. If we listen carefully to all of Maharaj's instructions, we can understand how closely he followed the disciplic succession. Some of his statements were very close to Srila Prabhupada's words, and some took the basic principles that Srila Prabhupada gave and sweetened them with personal realization. Another of the many fine qualities exemplified by His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami was his offenselessness. He was very careful not to commit any offense against any devotee or any living entity. And if he felt he had committed an offense, he immediately tried to mitigate the effects by approaching the person, apologizing, and asking forgiveness. Somehow or other, he tried to rectify the offense. He may have felt that he had, and immediately he would try to approach and please the person he feared he had offended to remove the effects of the offense. Maharaj's heart was pure and very sensitive, full of appreciation for other devotees and sensitive to his own faults, which again, from our point of view, weren't even faults. That's really the heart of a Vaishnava, full of love and appreciation for others, but sensitive to one's own deficiencies or mistakes. As stated by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, 12, 13 and 14, quote. And I'm quoting this because to me the description perfectly fits His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. Quote, one who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. As Maharaj always reminded us, we have the wonderful association of the devotees in ISKCON, and through their association we can experience Srila Prabhupada's presence. And along with Srila Prabhupada's presence, the presence of Srila Prabhupada's dear and beloved associate, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. Further, we can learn to serve him in separation. As Srila Prabhupada wrote in his dedication to Srimad Bhagavatam, quote, to Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, my spiritual master. He lives forever by his divine instructions, and the follower lives with him. After our Srila Prabhupada left, I looked for solace and guidance in his books, and I came across a section that addressed the disappearance of the spiritual master. Srimad Bhagavatam 4:28, 45 to 55. Some passages encouraged me that my lamentation over Prabhupada's departure was justified. Others that I could regain his association by serving his instructions. Text 47 states, being now alone and a widow in that forest, the daughter of Vidarbha began to lament, incessantly shedding tears, which soaked her breasts, and crying very loudly. In his purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, quote, figuratively, the queen is supposed to be the disciple of the king. Thus, when the mortal body of the spiritual master expires, his disciple should cry, exactly as the queen cries when the king leaves his body. However, the disciple and the spiritual master are never separated because the spiritual master always keeps company with the disciple, as long as the disciple follows strictly the instructions of the spiritual master. This is called the association of vani, words. Physical presence is called vapu. As long as the spiritual master is physically present, the disciple should serve the physical body of the spiritual master. And when the spiritual master is no longer physically existing, the disciple should serve the instructions of the spiritual master. The next verse discusses the chaos or disorder that might follow the disappearance of the spiritual master. And in his purport, Srila Prabhupada explains what the disciples can do. Quote, the main business of human society is to think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead at all times, to become his devotees, to worship the Supreme Lord, and to bow down before him. Srila Prabhupada is paraphrasing the verse, Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. Mame Vaishyasi Satyam Te Pratijane Priyosime. The Acharya, the authorized representative of the Supreme Lord, establishes these principles. But when he disappears, things once again become disordered. The perfect disciples of the spiritual master, of the Acharya, try to relieve the situation by sincerely following the instructions of the spiritual master. I was astonished because I'm relating now my experience after Srila Prabhupada left, and then I relate it to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami. I was astonished. Srila Prabhupada was telling me exactly what I needed to know. Quote, the perfect disciples of the Acharya try to relieve the situation by sincerely following the instructions of the spiritual master. But how will the disciples get detailed guidance when there is a question regarding which of the spiritual master's instructions apply in a particular complex situation? And what would their qualification be to receive such guidance? The purport to text 50 answers, quote, it is the long-standing tradition of the Vedic system that a faithful wife dies along with her husband. This is called Saha Marana. The wife used to enter the fire voluntarily. When Maharaj Pandu died, he was survived by two wives. Who knows the names of the two wives? Yes? Yes. When Maharaj Pandu died, he was survived by two wives, Madri and Kunti. The question was whether both should die or one should die. After the death of Maharaj Pandu, his wives settled that one should remain and the other should go. Madri would perish with her husband in the fire, and Kunti would remain to take charge of the 5 Pandava children. This indicates that a devotee's wife must be prepared to act in such a way. Similarly, and this is the important point, similarly, a devoted disciple of the spiritual master would rather die with the spiritual master than fail to execute the spiritual master's mission. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes down upon this earth to reestablish the principles of religion, so his representative, the spiritual master, also comes to reestablish religious principles. It is the duty of the disciples to take charge of the mission of the spiritual master and execute it properly. Otherwise, the disciples should decide to die along with the spiritual master. In other words, to execute the will of the spiritual master, the disciple should be prepared to lay down his life and abandon all personal considerations. End quote. And the next 2 purports explained how that detailed guidance would come. Quote, in his Paramatma feature, Krishna is the old friend of everyone. According to the Vedic injunction, Krishna is sitting with the living entity side by side. According to the Shruti mantra, Dva Suparna Suyaja Sakhaya, the Lord is situated within the heart of every living entity as Surit, the best friend. The Lord is always eager to have the living entity come home back to Godhead. Sitting with the living entity as witness, the Lord gives him all chances to enjoy himself materially. But when there is an opportunity, the Lord gives good counsel and advises the living entity to abandon trying to become happy through material adjustment and instead turn his face toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrender unto him. When one becomes serious to follow the orders of the spiritual master, his resolution is tantamount to seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated before, this means meeting the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the instructions of the spiritual master. This is technically called Vani Seva. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti states in his Bhagavad Gita commentary on the verse, Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Ekeha Krunandana, Gita 241, that one should serve the words of the spiritual master. The disciple must stick to whatever the spiritual master orders. Simply by following on that line, one sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks that unless one is highly elevated and loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot see him as he is. Nonetheless, if one sticks to the principles enunciated by the spiritual master, somehow or other he is in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Since the Lord is in the heart, he can advise a sincere disciple from within. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 10:10. Tesham satatayukta nam bhajatam priti purvakam didami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. In conclusion, if a disciple is very serious to execute the mission of the spiritual master, He immediately associates with the Supreme Personality of Godhead by Vani or Vapu. I felt purified and exhilarated. I'd gotten the guidance, the answers I needed in a most encouraging and empowering way. And I hope that the followers of Sripad Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj will get similar enlightenment and encouragement as they endeavor to serve their departed spiritual master in separation. And then I thought I would just read one little portion from my book, I'll Build You a Temple, the Jew story. So, Srila Prabhupada expressed the desire to go to Govardhan at the time of Govardhan Puja, which was just a few days before Srila Prabhupada left. And there was a controversy amongst the disciples. Some of the disciples felt that we should just follow the order of the spiritual master. It's not our duty to question his order or try to impose our will on him. But other disciples, including Tamal Krishna Goswami and Bhakti Charu Swami, felt that Srila Prabhupada should not go because they were concerned that he would not be able to bear that journey by bullock cart. So when Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, he was Prabhupada's godbrother, and Srila Prabhupada said he was a Paramahansa. He was very attached to chanting the holy names. When Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj came that evening, this is very close to the end, Tamal Krishna announced his arrival with Jai Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, Babaji Maharaj, Prabhupada had told us, was a Paramahansa, a fully liberated, self-realized soul, always blissful, always absorbed in chanting and hearing Sri Krishna's holy names. Dandavat, Prabhupada greeted him. He told him in Bengali about his plan to go on a bullock cart to Govardhan for Govardhan Puja, and asked if he would like to accompany him. Yes, Babaji Maharaj agreed. On your instruction, I will come along. Bhakti Charu said that they would leave at 5 the next morning, and Prabhupada added that they would be staying overnight. Somebody may go and bring his japamala, his beads, Prabhupada told the devotees. Where are they? Hangsaduta asked. At Imli Tao, Babaji Maharaj replied. I can go and come back. You can go in the car, Prabhupada suggested. We'll take you, Tamal Krishna told Babaji Maharaj, and you can get your mala. You'll stay overnight here. He'll get his bedding, Tamal Krishna told Prabhupada. His bedding and his beading, Prabhupada quipped, and everyone laughed. He invited Babaji Maharaj to take prasad, then affectionately recited Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi. By even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. Tamal Krishna and Bhavananda went upstairs to talk, and Hansaduta led the singing of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Srinama Kirtan. Prabhupada asked that prasad be served, but Bhakti Charu said that he had already arranged Babaji Maharaj's setting in the other room. So Prabhupada let Maharaj go. Bhakti Charu had wanted to speak with Babaji Maharaj alone. He told Maharaj all about the arrangement for the parikrama, the difficulty and risk involved, what the Kaviraj had advised, which was that Prabhupada not go, and shared his fear that Prabhupada would not survive the journey. Then he should not go, Babaji Maharaj declared. And after prasad, he and Bhakti Charu went back into the other room. Tamal Krishna and Bhavananda heard everything about the parikrama and did not think Prabhupada should go. So, do you all jointly request me not to go? Prabhupada asked. Gee, Babaji Maharaj confirmed. I was getting so upset sitting in the room upstairs, Tamal Krishna said. Two of the devotees told me this road is so bad that you're going to be jolted back and forth. The road is terrible. I mean, I just can't understand, Srila Prabhupada, why it has to be tomorrow that we have to go. If anyone wants you to travel, I do. My whole desire is to take you all over the world. I want to take you on parikrama. But why do we have to go when you're in this condition? I can't understand it. I was standing outside. The Kaviraj has worked so hard. He's so much disappointed. He can't understand why. He says that today you've taken half a kilo of milk. No mucus has been produced. No stool is being passed. He says that tomorrow he wants to give you a medicine that will begin to build the milk into muscles. He's going to get you to the point where you can take 2 kilos of milk a day. And he says that very soon you'll have the strength to actually do parikrama. So why are you throwing everything out the window that we must go tomorrow? I cannot understand, Prabhupada, said Bhavananda. I cannot refuse all your requests, Prabhupada conceded. And we cannot refuse your request, Tamal Krishna said. We'll take you all over on Tirtha Yatra to all the places, just that you should get a little stronger. You'll be free of all management. You'll simply go to Tirthas and take darshan of all the deities in India. And everyone will stay in their respective places. They'll manage. But we want you to be stronger. All right, Prabhupada said, and the devotees laughed in happiness. Are you satisfied? He asked Bhavananda. Now I am, Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Bhavananda replied. I was in too much anxiety. No, I cannot put you in anxiety, Prabhupada told him. You have done so much. You have suffered for Mayapur so much. I cannot put you in anxiety. So I shall do what you like. Prabhupada turned to Babaji Maharaj. Left hand, right hand, he said. I cannot refuse. I'm amazed, Srila Prabhupada, Tamal Krishna Goswami. A half kilo of milk you've drunk today. No mucus, no stool. And that is wonderful. You could not have done that 2 weeks ago. Yes, Bhakti Charu added. When I told the Kaviraj, he got quite amazed. Where is the Kaviraj? Prabhupada asked. He's out getting medicine, Tamal Krishna answered. Adridharan says he sits up all night worried about you, thinking, taxes his mind how to give you what you require. No. Yesterday, when I went to call him at 4:30, I saw him sitting on his bed, Bhakti Charu said. All night, Tamal Krishna said. He goes to the jungle 4 or 5 hours looking for roots and herbs to give you. He's so sincere. So many well-wishers, Prabhupada said. I cannot refuse. That is not my business. All right, you take Babaji Maharaj. That will be my going. And the boys laughed. Jai, said Babaji Maharaj. Tamal Krishna said, actually, Srila Prabhupada, we're so much attached to you that you practically drive us to madness sometimes. Tonight we were becoming mad. No, I shall not do that. Babaji Maharaj, just see how my devotees love me. Amazing. Reflecting on the recent day's events, Tamal Krishna said, Srila Prabhupada, the way you deal with us simply deepens our attachment every moment. It is my duty, Prabhupada said, and the devotees laughed. There was a professor in Scottish Churches College. When you would say something, he would simply reply, that's my duty, Juti, Juti. Prabhupada chuckled. So a student asked, is that Scottish pronunciation? And again, the devotees laughed. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki jai. So, my dear devotees, thank you for listening so patiently and attentively. And if any of you have any questions or comments, any reflections to share, you can raise your hand.
Maharaj, one point you mentioned that disciples should leave his body with a guru if he cannot fulfill the word of fulfill the mission of guru. So is it equally 20 years back or 50 years back, it was more easy to, I'm saying, practice spiritual life or spread it. But nowadays people are so much with the effect by Kali, we all. So it's not really easy like it was before. So how then we do because we cannot die, we cannot.
Yeah, the purport is not actually that one should die, but that one should be prepared to lay down one's life for the mission of the spiritual master and serve the spiritual master's mission without personal consideration of gain or loss. So, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj did that. You're his follower. Are you following his footsteps? Is that a problem?
That was my question, because it's very hard to continue because it's getting more and more difficult. Like, if you can little share with your experience after Srila Prabhupada left.
Oh yes, the Kali Yuga is getting worse. But I knew that the secret of success in spiritual life is to follow the instructions of the spiritual master and try to please him. So after Prabhupada left, of course it was very difficult, but I knew I had to continue. And very soon we were going to be opening the Juhu Temple. We opened the Juhu Temple exactly 2 months after Prabhupada left. So soon after Prabhupada left, I returned to Juhu and worked on the temple opening. We had all hoped that Srila Prabhupada could have been there for the opening, but Krishna had a different plan. He wanted us to experience Srila Prabhupada's presence, even in his physical absence, which we did. We all felt that Srila Prabhupada was present. So, we have to persevere. And good chanting, attentive chanting, sincere chanting, that gives us the strength to serve the spiritual master and the parampara in the proper way. So good, sincere, attentive rounds is very important. Any other questions or comments? Oh, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. What is service and separation? I mean, what's the first step for that? Is it like a intellectual? Is it intellectual on the basis that we serve in separation, or how does it come actually? This mode of service and separation.
Well, when the spiritual master leaves, then we have to serve in separation. And again, quoting Srila Prabhupada's dedication to Srimad Bhagavatam, which he dedicated to his spiritual master, he lives forever by his divine instructions, and the follower lives with him. So by serving the instructions of the spiritual master in separation, we get the mercy and the association of the spiritual master, even in separation. Otherwise, how were we all going on after Srila Prabhupada's departure was by serving his instructions. So what's next? Well, there's one thing that His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami said. I could probably look it up, or I could try to paraphrase it. But let me see if I can look it up, because it's important. I'm not sure exactly where to find it.
So do the readers of the bookstore behind the door. So the three books that are written, three books, what you say, many so wonderful, so inspiring. Those are one interesting by books more of the sign. So you can take the book from the outside, more on the side.
Well, I'm not finding it, but when when Tamal Krishna Goswami left, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami was, as he said, he was shattered, and he was wondering why he had to leave in such a way. But then he considered how one dies is not so important, but how one lives is important. And, for someone who has served the Guru and Krishna with love, will they not be there at the most critical time, at the time of death? And so what Srila Bhakti Charu Swami said about Tamal Krishna Goswami also applies to him, that how one leaves the body is not so important, but how one has lived is important. And, for one who has served Krishna with love throughout one's life, will not Krishna be there at the most critical moment at the time of death? Hare Krishna. Yeah, that's it. I prefer a higher table. I'm not